Hello, Jagdish sir. Jagdish sir. Sir, we cannot hear you.
Is it okay now? Is it audible now?
Yes, sir, we can continue. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, good evening all. Welcome to the GSTZen webinar on invoice management system. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about what is IMS. First, we'll understand what IMS is, and then we'll see how the IMS works. And also we'll see how IMS interface in GST and portal. And then we'll see how it will impact on our GST return, GST 2B as well as then 3B. And at the end, we'll see the practical FAQs, how it will get effect on our GST returns. And in the end, we'll see how the IMS complaints can be done by using the GSTZen software. So now coming to what IMS is. So IMS is an invoice management system. Yes. IMS is an invoice management system. It's a facility given to the taxpayers by GSTN to help the taxpayer to manage their invoices on the GST portal. First, it allows you to check that the taxpayer can check and manage invoices uploaded by your suppliers. It also gives you a track of invoices on which you are availing ITC and on which invoices you are not claiming ITC. You can have a detailed track of all the invoices on which you are availing the ITC. Like the GSTR1. In GSTR1, you can have a track on which invoice you have paid the tax like that. But whereas in the GSTR3B, till date, you have no such option on which invoice you have availed the credit. But with the help of IMS, you can track on which invoice you are availing the ITC. And also, it increases transparency, accountability between suppliers and recipients, and also helps you to avoid mistakes and ensures you are claiming the correct input tax credit. So now first we'll understand the current scenario, how till date our GST returns are working. So as in when the supplier files his GSTR1 on or before the 11, the same all those invoices or records are flowed to the GSTR2B on 14, and from 2B it will get auto populated to 3B. So this is how current return system works. So what's the change here? So now we'll see how invoice management system workflow, how it will works. So till date, only after filing GSTR1, invoices are flowing to GSTR2B. But from now onwards, after implementing the invoice management system, as and when the record, as and when the invoice saved in the GSTR1 of the supplier, either by uploading, manual uploading, or pushing it from the e-invoice portal, as and when it saves in GSTR1, automatically it will get reflected in my invoice management system. Okay. So from here, the recipient has to take an action. It's on in IMS, invoices will be auto-populated on real-time basis. In IMS portal, the recipient will have an option to either accept, reject, or if he wants to keep it on pending, if he is uncertain about that invoice, he can opt for pending, keep pending action, or else he can opt for no action button. So by default, all the invoices will be in the state of no action status. If he has taken no action, then how the GST2B is generating now. The same way, 2B will also populate now. So this is not an additional burden for the taxpayer to comply with the IMS. It's an enhanced GST2B, I can say, because we'll see how on what action how the invoice records will get affected. So if you see in IMS, if I accept any invoice in the IMS, it will directly flow to my GST2B. Even if I not take any action on any invoice, even that case also it will get deemed accepted, and that such invoice will also flow to my GST2B. So in these two actions, that is accept and no action, my invoices will go to my 2B as an eligible. If I reject any invoice, it will flow to my 2B, but it will go and sit in ineligible category. That in you know that in 2B there are two categories: ITC available, ITC not available part. If you accept or if you have not taken any action, it will go and sit in my first bucket, that is ITC available bucket. If I reject it, it will go and sit in my ineligible part, that is ITC not available bucket. Okay, and if you opt for pending, if you mark any invoice as pending, then that invoice will not flow to my GST2B. It will remain in my invoice management system only. It will carry forward for the future periods till you take the action on that invoice. Okay. So moving on that, so when this IMS will be available to take the action by the taxpayer, it will be available from the day one of the month. So my GST, all these invoice will flow to my 2B. As usual, now also, even after implementing IMS invoice management system, my 2B will get generated on 14. But this is, here I have written the draft GST2B. What is this draft GST2B? Because it's not final. As long as you take actions in the IMS, my GST2B will get updated. Earlier, in the previous return filing system, my GST2B is static. But from after implementation of IMS, my GST2B will get updated. If I take any action post generation of the GST2B, that if I take any action after 14, or else I am in 17. If I take any action, if I have rejected any of the invoices which are already populated in my GST2B and 14, then my 2B will get updated. How it will get updated? So after taking action in the IMS, I have to click on recompute. So after clicking on the recompute, my GST2B will get updated with the actions I have taken in the IMS. So those invoices will auto-populated in the 3B. So before filing of the 3B, you have to click on recompute 2B, so that you will get the latest actions in your GST2B. And also, we'll come again to this slide after end of this session. You will get a good idea of all these data flow. I try to summarize the whole how the IMS is operating in the GST. Yeah, first we'll see the independent parts and we'll come back to this slide again. So hope it is clear to you all. I will explain these RCM ineligible documents and credit note in 3B in the later slides. So what happens to your input tax credit? So how invoice management system impact my GST2B and GST3B? If I accept it, it will be part of my 2B. Okay. So if I accept it, is going to my 2B and will get auto populated in my 3B also. If I reject it? If I reject it, it will be part of my 2B in the ITC not available bucket and also not populated in my GST3B. And if I kept it pending, it will not part of my 2B of the month. It will keep on coming for the next years till I take action on that invoice. And also it will not part of my 3B. Let's take an example. I have received an invoice with I am uncertain whether to avail credit or not now. In that case, I will put that invoice as in pending. Or else, if any of the conditions, section 16, subsection 2 conditions, but to avail the ITC, if I didn't met any condition, in that case also, I will I will opt for pending option. And by default, all the invoices will be in no action taken status. So even no action is also deemed acceptance. So it will flow from IMS to 2B, from there to 3B. So this is how IMS will works. So now coming on, in the GST portal, IMS has two different views. One is for the recipient, another for the supplier. As of now, only the inward supplies is active. Very soon, the outward supply, that is for the supplier, will be available very soon. But as of now, only inward supplies is there. What is for inward supplies and what is for outward supplies? So inward supply dashboard is for to take the action by the recipient, whether to accept, reject, pending. Those actions need to be taken in the inward supplies. So recipient is taking the action. Automatically, obviously, supplier has to counter the actions taken by the recipient, right? So further outward supplies is there. In the outward supplies, supplier can check the status of the outward supplies reported based on the actions taken by your uh, by such supplies recipient. Okay, so so, by clicking on this inward supplies, this is the dashboard, how it looks. In the IMS dashboard, yes, in the IMS dashboard, you can see the type of invoices and your action summary. This is the summary part. You can see here, out of total 18 invoices, you have taken action on 6. You have not taken any action on 16 invoices. You have accepted 4 and rejected 5 and pending. This is the summary of all the things. If you drill down level, if you click on B2B invoices, you can see that dashboard like this. So here you can accept, reject, pending, and no action. You can see here all the invoices are in no action status. By default, all the invoices will be in the no action status. If you have taken any action, then only the status will get changed. So after taking action on the invoices, we have to click on save. Then only it will get saved. Can I take the action on multiple invoices at the same time? Yes, you can filter the invoices based on various type of categories. Like if you see here, based on GSTN of the supplier or invoice types, based on status, source filing status, whether it is filed or not, based on period, and based on place of supply. You can filter by any of this category and take the action at a single click. So you have taken action and you have saved all the records. So I want to reset the action status. So yes, you can do by clicking on the reset button. You can see here the reset button. By clicking on the invoices for which you want to reset the action status, you can check those invoices and you can reset it. So this is how the we have to take the action on the inward supplies invoices. So now see how flow of records in the IMS. As I discussed in the previous slides, all the accepted and deemed accepted, that is no action invoices, and rejected invoice will move out of IMS. Let's say there are 100 invoices for the month of October. It is showing in my IMS. I have taken action on 90 invoices and I have kept pending on 10 invoices. The 10 invoices will still be 90 invoices will move out of my IMS and 10 invoices will be there in my IMS for the October. And this will be carried forward to the subsequent periods till I take action on the invoices. So how long these invoices will be carried forward? Till I take action on those invoices, either accept, reject, or the time limit prescribed from the section 16.4. As we all know that section 16 subsection 4 provides the time limit to avail ITC on invoices. So what is the time limit? I can avail ITC on or before 30th November of the subsequent financial year. If the time period has got expired, then I cannot avail the ITC, right? Now the IMS itself is restricting to take the ITC on those invoices. That's the reason after expiring the time limit on section 16.4, that is after 30th November of subsequent year, that those invoices will be removed from the IMS. From then onwards, these invoices will not be carried forward. So now coming to the draft GST2B. So why I call it as a draft? Because it's not a final as long as you file your GST3B for that period. So if I have not taken any action, so in that case, how the GST2B is generated now till this month, the same way GST2B will be generated for the next periods also. So what GST2B includes? Accepted records as well as no action taken records, because no action taken records is also a deemed acceptance. So how many times I can take action on those invoices? There is, you can take action any number of times till you file your GST3B. Once you file GST3B, you are no longer to take action on any invoice. Okay. So draft GST2B treated as a final in case if we have not taken any action on any invoice. Let's say I have not taken any action on in the IMS and my to be generated on the 14th, and the same I have filed it in 3B. In that case, my to be is final if I take not taken any action. So compute GST to be. Just now is said that if I have taken any action after 14, my GST to be will get updated. When this GST compute GST to be button will be enabled after 14th of every month. That means next month of the 14th of the next month. So if I take any action post to the based on the action taken from the 1 to 14, my to be will get generated. If I take any action from the 14 to 20th, then I need to click on compute GST to be. Then only GST to be will get updated. So these are after clicking on that, my my 2B will get updated, as well as these updated ITC details will auto populated in 3B. Okay. So after 3B anyway, you are not allowed to take any action in the IMS period. So you can see here there is a button called compute 2B of December 2023. So this will get enabled only after 14th. So you can let's see now the supplier view. Till now we have seen the recipient view. Now we'll see the how the supplier view, what actions the supplier can take in. Okay. As of now, it is not live on the GST portal. So if you see here, this is how it looks. You can download the. If you see here, all the outward supplies which you have reported in GST1A will be shown here. The summary, and if you want to see what type of actions your recipient has taken, if any invoice is redirected by my recipient, then those invoices you can see it here. Redirected records were liability added back in 3B. So here also you can see you can download the whole invoices in the Excel and check the status. Just a second, there are some questions. No questions. Till now, any questions? If we have, what is the cutoff date for IMS? IMS, there is no cutoff date, sir. Purnashri, sorry. There is no cutoff date. It will come from the first day on of the month. Let's take if you are in November 1st, and the IMS for that period will be available from the first of that period. This month, actually, this IMS is proposed to launch from the 14th October, but somehow they have, but it is functional from today only. It is introduced on 14th, but from 14th onwards, whatever the actions you can take in, the same. Okay. Can we amend the action in the next month? Okay. Just So if there are invoices that are not eligible due to 17.5, do we reject or do we accept? Yes, you have to accept those invoices ineligible, even though that is ineligible. But in the GSTR 3B, you have to report that in the 4B1, that is the permanent reversal. Okay. Hope it is clear, Rohit. And the one more question is that supplier has to pay tax in 3B, even rejected or kept pending by the recipient. Yes, obviously, his liability will not change by taking action in the IMS. Supplier has to pay tax in 3B, even rejected or keep pending by the recipient. If any liability, if any credit note is rejected by the recipient, then in the subsequent period, that liability will get added to the supplier. That we will see it in the subsequent slide, how it will get added liability to the supplier. And can we amend the action in the next month? If you have that invoice should be there in my IMS, but you have already taken action means it is going out of my IMS. I cannot take any action, right? Sir, this IMS is now not be work for September 2024 return, right? Yes, this is introduced from this month only, that is October onwards. Can you explain what to be done if a valid invoice is rejected by mistake? Yeah, that will discuss in the later slide. What to be done if my now we could see October bills immediately. We can't take upon. Okay. IMS is introduced from today only. There are some errors. I have observed that most of the invoices are not populating in the IMS. GSTN is still working on that. From next month onwards, we expect that there will not be any discrepancy. If I accept invoice after 2 months from the date of invoice, is ITC will be current month of backdated ITC. Sorry, I didn't get it. If I accept invoice after 2 months from the date of invoice, is ITC will be current month of backdated ITC. Yes, as long as you if you are within the time limit of 16.4, you can avail the ITC. What about implication and credit note? We'll discuss in later. Okay. Oh, many questions are there. Yeah, okay. I will take up all the questions at the end of the session. So now we'll see the practical FAQs. So hope you find the answers in this practical FAQs. If it is not covered in the practical FAQs, I will take up the questions at the end of the session. So sequential generation. So if I have not filed my 3B of the previous month, the 2B will not get generated for the current for this month. Let's say I have not filed my September month return, then October 2B will not be generated. However, from IMS from the IMS, you can generate 2B provided by filing GSTR 3B. So today I'm in the 17th. I have not filed my GSTR 3B. So my 2B will not get generated for this month, October month. So what I have to do now is first file GSTR 3B and then from the IMS generate compute liabilities, then 2B will get generated for that period. So reset of record by the supplier. So as I said in the previous slide, that IMS will be available from the day 1 of the month. So my supplier has reported invoice on the one. He has yes, my invoice. My supplier has reported invoice is GSTR 1 dated 1/10/2024. On the same day, I have accepted it. Okay. So on 5th, he has edited the document. He has amended that record. So in that case, I have already accepted it. So as and when he edited the document, my action status will go up and will go to that no action category. Again, I have to take the action on the invoice. Okay. If my supplier has deleted record, which was reported on 1/10/2024, in that case, it will be removed from an IMS as well as reducer from 2B as well as from 3B anyway, it will go off. Okay. So anyway, if we edit the document or delete the document, in any case, it will be get reset. So what all the documents will not be available in IMS, but will be part of my 2B. See, RCM records. If my supplier has reported invoice by under RCM category, RCM as S. Yes, and there are some S. If my supplier has reported RCM invoice, in that case, it will not come to my IMS. It will go directly to my GST or 2B, and from there to my 3B. Timer ITC, that is section 16 subsection 4. That is what I have discussed in the previous slides, that after time limit get over, these invoices will go to my 3B 2B directly under ineligible category. Ineligible ITC due to place of supply rules. Let's say I am registered in Karnataka. I received an invoice having a place of supply Andhra Pradesh. Okay, in that case, ITC will not come to my IMS. It will go directly to be under ITC not available category. ISG document, that is bill of entry document, that is imports. In that case, it will go directly to my 2B and from there to 3B. And document flowing from GSTR 5 and GSTR 6, that is a non-resident taxable person, and ISD, import service distributor. In these two cases, it will go directly to my 2B. And documents were ITC to be reversed on account of Rule 37A, that is non-payment of tax by my supplier. In that case also, invoice will not comes to my IMS, will go directly to my 2B. In all these cases, invoice will go directly to will be part of my 2B, but no need to take any action on the IMS. So will there be any invoices where pending? Yes. Will there be any invoices where pending action is not allowed? Either you have to accept or reject. Will there be any cases? Yes, there are some cases where you are allowed to accept or reject it. We'll see what are all the cases. Original credit note. In case of original credit note reported by my supplier, I have an option to accept or reject. There will be no option to opt for pending. If I accept, my input tax credit will get reduced. If I reject it, what will happen? My supplier is reducing his liability by reporting the credit note. But here I am not reducing the liability. If I reject it, there will be a loss to the government, right? So that's the reason. If I reject the credit note, and that liability will get added to the suppliers in the suppliers review of the next month. So if I am rejecting it, it will that liability will get added to my supplier in the next month 3B. Okay. So in order to not to lose the revenue of the government, that's the reason they have put this restriction. So in case of upward amendment of credit note, the same case, irrespective of action taken by the recipient on the original credit note, you have to accept it, reject it. The same way, in case of downward amendment of credit note, if the original credit note was rejected by the recipient, as well as in case of downward amendment of the invoice or credit note, where the original invoice or debit note is accepted by the recipient, and the respective 3B has also been filed. In all these cases, if you notice that in order to curb the revenue loss to the government, they have put all these restrictions. Okay. So now going, if you see here, you are having an option only to accept or reject, not for pending. Either you are allowed to take only any of these two options. So we'll see this original and amended. Yes. Original and amended records are in the same period. Let's take an example. If my supplier has amended the original invoice in the same month, action taken on the amended record will prevail over action taken on the original record. Whatever the action you have taken on the amended record, only that will consider, provided you should take action on the original record first. Either you have to accept it or reject it or on the original invoice. Then only you can take action on this amended invoice. Without this step, the system will restrict to take the action on the amended invoice. Okay. So let's say if my original invoice is issued in October and this got amended in the November month, what I have to do in that case, recipient has to first take the action on my original invoice. In the October month, I have to either accept it or reject it. Okay, then only and file the 3B. And in the subsequent month, I can take the action on my amended record. If we have not taken any action on the original record, let's say in the month of October, you kept it in pending. In the month of November IMS, you can see the both the invoices, that is the original invoice as well as the amended invoice, right? If you want to take the action only on the amended invoice, system will not system will restrict you to take the action on that. So in that case, what you have to do is first take the action on the original invoice in the month of the November and file that return. Okay, and then in the subsequent month, that is the December month IMS, you take the action on that amended record. In then only system will allow you to take the action. Otherwise, system will not allow you to take the action. First, you have to take the action on the original and file the GSTR 3B, and then take the action on the amended record. Hope it is clear. Okay. Now moving on to what happens if a recipient rejects a record. So if my recipient rejects a record before filing of GSTR 1 by my supplier. So we discussed earlier, if any invoice or record can be edited and supplier can file GSTR 1 with the corrected record. If before filing of GSTR 1 by supplier, if I reject any invoice, he can correct it or he can reissue any other invoices. So on the edited record will be made available in the IMS for action by the recipient. So after filing of GST1, if I take any, if I reject any invoice, in that case, what I can do? So I will contact my supplier. I will ask him to amend it either by GST or 1A. If he amends through GST 1A, it will reflect in my subsequent period IMS, that is the next month IMS. And on that record, I can take the action. So this amended record will be made. I will take a small example. In the month of the October, my supplier has reported one invoice and I have rejected it on 17th date. That is after filing of GSTR 1 by supplier. What my supplier has done? My supplier has amended the record GSTR 1 in the same month. Again, after amending it by GSTR 1 through the GSTR 1A, that will get reflect in my next period. That is in the November month IMS, it will get reflect that amended record. The month of November, I can take the action on the record. Okay. So someone has asked this question. If you by mistake has rejected any invoice, in that case, what I can do? Contact your supplier to correct the mistake. The supplier can fix it by amending or reissue invoice and correct the record. And that invoice will again be reflected in your IMS. In that time, you can accept it again, that outdated invoice. So what about the issue to be for quarterly taxpayer? For quarterly taxpayers, IMS will get populated on quarterly basis after end of the quarter. How the 2B is the same logic as there is for monthly 2B, 3B applicable. The same way, the IMS will be generated for the quarterly taxpayers. So now I will summarize what we have discussed till now, and then we'll take up some questions. Okay. So here the supplier is saving invoice in the GST account manually, or else invoicing provisions is applied to him. He's generating the invoice, and after T plus 2 days, it will get saved in the GST account. And then when it comes to the GST account, immediately it will get reflected in the IMS portal. So here, the recipient can take action, multiple action that accept, he can accept, reject, no action pending. So in these two cases, it is flowing to my GST to be on 14. Okay. So in case of ineligible, it is going to my ineligible bucket. In these two cases, it is going to my eligible bucket. In case of pending case, it is remaining in the IMS. It will be carried forward to my future future periods till I take the action. So if I reject the credit note, and it will get become liability of the next month to my supplier. Okay, because my supplier is reducing the liability by issuing the credit note. Here I am not reducing the input tax credit. So there is a revenue loss to the government. So that's the reason the government has put this condition. And also, if you see here, the RCMN ineligible document, that is 16 for time limit expired, or due to place of supply, different place of supply, and reverse charge supply, all these supplies will will not touch IMS, will go directly to the 2B. In case of ineligible documents, will go to the 4D2 of my 3B. In case of RCM, will go to my RCM liability fields. So till 14, whatever the actions I have taken based on that, my draft GST2B will be generated. So even after that, if I want to take any action, if I take any action, then my GST2B has to be updated, right? So for that, I need to click on recompute 2B. Then my 2B will be refreshed and get updated with the updated actions. And then my 3B, simultaneously, my 3B will also will be auto-populated with the updated figures in the 2B. This is how the IMS works. So we'll take some questions now. Sir, this is the IMS. Good evening, sir. Some of the vendors are wrongly uploading the invoices and reverse them through credit note in the same month. Whether we have to reject both invoice and the credit note. Some of the vendors are wrongly uploading invoice and reverse them through credit note. Either you can take action on both the things. If you have taken action on only one thing, then it will be a problem for you. If you take action, or if you have not taken any action, then automatically there will be not a problem. For most of the questions, Venu sir has given the answer to you. Ask team to do demo and okay. So only one. This is the advisory given by the GSTN today. We'll see what is this advisory. Hot locking of auto-populated valuation in the 3B. So till now, if anything we want to change it in the GSTN 3B auto-populated figures, we can change it. But from Jan 2025, this is the tentative date, not the exact date. GSTN has proposed to freeze the figures in the GSTN 3B. Whatever the auto-populated figures coming into the 3B, same will have to be there. You cannot edit any field in GSTN 3B. If you want to change any field in the 3B, in case of outward supply, you can change it from GSTN 11A of your supplier, or through IMS, invoice matching system. The main reason to bring GSTN 1A and IMS is to implement this 3B. Just a second. Yes. So you can just a second. So from Jan 2025 onwards, that's the tentative date. You can expect that GSTR 3B field you cannot change. If you want to change, you can do it from either request your supplier to change it from GSTF only on a of your supplier or through the invoice matching system only. So it is available now. So I will take two more questions and will my tech team will show the demo how you can comply IMS through using GSTZen software. If your customer wrongly rejected the invoice in their invoice, what is the impact on my 3P? If there is a hard locking, how do we do reversal for sample goods? For example, just self-reported. Yes.
Jagdish sir,
Yes.
sir, we'll have the demo. Then we
Yeah.
can schedule the questionnaires
Okay.
again,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
handing
Thank
over
you.
to yes.
Thank you for the session, sir. Now my team member Akila ma'am would be taking the demo. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just sharing the screen. So this is the GST landing page, and you can log in to GSTZen. Once you log in and select any particular GST number, you can find the IMS in the download report section. You can see the IMS. Once you come to, this is the IMS home page. You can log into government portal using OTP. Once it is logged in, you have to click the Get Invoice button to get the data from the government portal. This is the sample data which we have called from the government portal, and you can find the section invoice type where you can see B2B, B2B credit note. Similar way, you'll find all the B2B debit note, e-com. So all the section transactions will be available here. Once the data is extracted from the government portal, every transaction will appear in No Action tab. You can either click the transactions by checking the checkbox and you can accept the transaction. One, it will ask for the reconfirmation whether you want to save, update the preference or not. If you click on save it, it will go and save it in the action tab. Similarly, you can see the what are the transactions you have made it marked as pending, transactions marked as accepted, and transactions marked as rejected. You can multi-select all the transactions here, and you can reset the action to no action from on a single click. So once all the changes have been made, you have to just click on upload changes here, and it will be saved to the government portal. So you need not go to multiple screens as in the government portal. Everything is appearing on a single screen, and you can easily, it is a very easy interface to easily select and save it in a single click. In the upcoming days, we are launching our purchase register versus IMS match, where you have to upload your purchase register. Software runs a matcher and gives you the exact match, partial match, and suggestion to accept, whether accept or reject it. Do you have any queries? IMS is not available in our GSTZen site. Sir, we are launching it. You can see it by tomorrow, sir. We are giving a demo now. Once demo is completed, we will be launching it and you can see it in your website.
Thank you, ma'am, for that insightful demo. I request now the participants to put their queries in the chat box so that our expert team from GSTZen can help you solve your queries. Jagdish sir, like,
Yes.
yeah, so I am unmuting for some of the participants. Now
Yeah.
you can unmute and just ask your queries.
Yeah, someone has asked, please explain the possibility to identify the GST and cancel the suspense status. This question was posted by Krishna Kumar. Sir, in our GSTZen software, there is this tool called GST and Validator. You can put all your vendor GST and Z in single shot. You will get the status of all your vendors. And how could claim opening ITC? So Vinayak Manshekar, sorry sir, I didn't get your question. How to track pending invoices of up to September 2024? Just do the reconciliation, invoice level reconciliation, so that you can have a keep track of your records on what invoices have taken ITC or not. Sir, we need to have demo now. Oh, sorry. Some of the vendors are not uploading invoices. In this case, is there any provision to communicate to the vendor? In this case, there is no. Some of the vendors are not uploading invoices. In this case, is there any provision to communication? There is a communication window on the GST portal. You can try it there. If there is a hard locking, how do we do a reversal for samples? If you have any questions, you can unmute. You can ask. If I go IMS dashboard and portal, can see only October invoices and no September invoices are visible. So this is launched from October onwards only. So you can see only October invoices, not the September invoices. This is not like that 2B. This IMS is on real-time basis. You can see the invoices from the October month onwards. So what about the invoice against which ITC the blocked credit? As I said earlier, in case of blocked credit ITC also, you have to accept that invoice and report that invoice in the 4B1 of your GST 3B. That is the permanent reversal. So when IMS will be implemented in the GST portal, actually it is proposed implemented from 14, but it got functional from this morning only, from 17th morning. There is blocked credit need to be accepted and manually to be posted in ineligible GST 3B. Yes, Darshan. And 4B1, I have to report that. Credit note and debit note issued by supplier, then only to accept or reject, but not pending. Only the credit note you are mandatorily to accept. In case of debit note, there is no such restriction. Reversal and sir, we are reversing numerous invoice in GSTR2 and we have multiple GST numbers. It is difficult for us to check each invoice one by one. Could you please clarify if it is mandatory to do so? As of now, IMS is optional, not mandatory. If you have not taken any action how the current return filing system is going on, the same way it will move on. It is not the new return. It's an enhancement to your just to track of invoices on what you have availed ITC.
Sir, hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, what you said now, it is IMS is not mandatory.
Yes.
Suppose if it says very clearly it is only for invoices. Then what about the credit note, debit notes? In the GSTN
Yes, sir.
advisory.
Yes, sir. If we have not taken any action on the credit note, it deemed to be accepted.
Then I have to work both for IMS and then 2B.
Sorry, sir.
In IMS, I have credit notes.
Okay.
In 2B, I have other things. Then every month I have to work both for IMS and then 2B.
From IMS only invoices will flow, sir.
Correct. But where say I don't want to use IMS, it is optional.
Okay.
What I have to
Then
do?
if the credit note belongs to if you want to reject that credit note or accept it credit note, sir.
No. Sir, first I don't want to use IMS. Is it possible?
Yes, sir. As of now, it is optional, but in
No,
future,
sir. My
yes.
credit note will be in IMS.
Okay.
I want to use only 2B.
Okay.
What is the provision now? If I am not
So
using
in
here
2B,
credit note, if not taking action, it is automatically gets saved.
yes, it gets saved, and
Then it is
your
mandatory.
ITC. Sorry, sir.
Then it is mandatory only.
It's not mandatory, sir. It's optional. And advisory also it is clearly.
If I am not taking action, it says automatically it will get saved and that will be recorded. Then I have to do optional of this thing mandatory for IMS and then 2B for mandatory. Sir, some people are asking, I don't want to use IMS. Can I say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes means I have credit note in
If
IMS.
you want to have the proper track of invoices on which you want to avail ITC, not to on what invoices you are availing ITC, we recommend you to do the proper reconciliation and use the IMS.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, my question is, my ITC available on my ITC ledger.
Sorry, ITC available in?
My ITC
Okay.
available on my ITC ledger on government portal. But I'm not utilized because I'm not proved the invoice. So that kept in ITC ledger.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir. Akila, do you get that question?
No.
I
Can you
will
repeat the question again, sir?
Yes, sir, definitely. My ITC available on my ITC ledger on
ITC
GST.
ledger. ITC ledger, right?
Yeah, ITC ledger. But after IMS, how could I get the benefit of that ITC?
Sir, can you please put your question in the text box, or else
Yes.
you can mail your question to me. Yeah, and one more question, actually, is your software compatible to other softwares also, or on only Tally? Akila, you can take this question.
Yes, sir. GSTZen is compatible for Tally and even SAP. We are supporting even all other softwares also we are supporting.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, sir, myself Purnashree. Session was good, and thanks for giving opportunity to speak. See,
Yes.
I have two questions, sir.
Yes,
One
sir.
is related to this. I raise the invoices to my customer. He is a B2B registered person. I raise the B2B sales. So
Okay.
wrongly he rejected the invoices in his IMS.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what is the impact on my 3B?
Yeah, there will not be impact, sir. You, as usual, he don't want to take ITC on the invoices. That's the reason he has rejected it.
No,
So your
he
liability
wrongly,
will not get reduced here, sir.
when he wrongly rejected.
Yes, sir, wrongly rejected, but your liability will not get reduced here, sir.
Okay.
You need to pay the liability what you have declared in your warrant.
Okay.
So if he rejects his credit note, if you issues the credit note, you are reducing your liability, right? And
Correct.
what your recipient is supposed to do, he has to reduce his ITC. But he is rejecting your credit note. In that case, there is a loss to the revenue government, right? So that's the reason they put the restriction there. In case if your credit note is rejected by your recipient, then that liability will get added to you in the subsequent month 3B.
Okay. And one more
Only
thing,
for the credit.
this
Yes, sir.
reclaim and reversal ledger.
Yes, sir.
We have some balances in our ledger.
Okay, opening
Can I
balances.
claim that in after January 2025?
January, already you have reported your opening balances, sir, in the
We already reported that.
Yes, you can avail it anytime, sir. 16 will not come into this play because once you have availed ITC, you can avail. There is no restriction availment. You can avail at any period of time. After if you want to avail after 2 years of time, you can avail.
ನಾನೊಂದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ಉಂಟಾ?
Thank you, sir.
ಆಯ್ತಾಯ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Sir, vendor is GSTZen only reported, but source of this filing status is not filed. That amount will be accepted or pending. What
Yeah,
can I do
even if he not file his GSTR1, those invoices will get populate in your IMS. You can take action on those invoices, sir.
accepted?
You can accept it.
Okay, sir. If there any penalty in this next month onwards, when vendor is not filed the GSTR1, but reporting in IMS, I will take the input credit. That is any. Tell me, sir.
Sorry. If he reported but not filed his GSTR1, that's what you are saying, sir.
Yes, sir. Vendor will be reported in the GSTR1.
But not filed his GSTR1.
But that
in that case,
is showing in the IMS.
In that case, it will not come to your 2B, sir.
Sorry?
It will. In that case, it will not come to your 2B.
Yes, sir. 2B, but IMC is the source in the
IMS it will be there.
Yes, sir.
But
Okay.
It will not come to your 2B. From 2B only, it will go to your 3B now, sir.
Okay. That is option only, na, sir? IMS?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we are closing our session. If you have any doubts, you can write us to just a second. I'm sharing mail IDs. Yes, if you have any questions, you can research. You can research to this email, Jagdisha Venu sir. So, Atla, any closing remarks?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So only last question, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, actually for the current year 24-25, how many reconciliation we need to keep for books versus our portal, sir?
For 23-24, sir?
24-25.
24-25, how you keep the reconciliation?
How many types of reconciliation we need to keep?
Many reconciliations, sir. One versus, yes.
I'm not asking like that, sir.
Okay.
See, 23-24, I am availing credit in 24-25.
Okay.
With IMS, without IMS. With IMS from September to November to March 25. Without IMS, April to November. Right?
Okay.
Then I am availing 24-25 credit in 25-26.
Okay.
There I have to give again with IMS credit and without IMS credit.
Sir, IMS is just an tagging.
So
Sir.
if I opt immediately to go with that, I need to
Okay.
keep at least 4 reconciliation to track the filing of annual return for the next
Yeah.
year.
Yes, sir.
Is,
Yes.
is there any reduction on the reconciliation part?
No, sir. The reconciliation is just to in the future to avoid the litigation, sir. That's it.
How many confusions, sir? How many confusion? Already we are receiving for the last 7 years the same thing, and again repeating for another 5 years, I think.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jagdish sir, for that insightful session. And I would like to thank Akhila ma'am also for that demo. And special thank to all our participants who have asked those questions, and that would be helpful for everyone who has joined the session and whichever all the people who have been viewing it online. So thankful to every one of you. So we'll be closing our session. Thank you all for joining. Thank you.